It's time to join my latest experiment, which is going to be a very long, multi-year long experiment. And I want you there. Let's talk about it. I am a digital Netsian, raised in the 80s and born at the perfect time to grow with the internet in the 90s. I started my internet journey on Metacrawlers, BBS, Telnet, and ICQ. I typed ASL to random strangers more times than I'd like to admit on AIM. And I posted college drama on the early blogging platform Zanga and built my own digital avatar and first digital home on Cyworld. It's a Korean social network back in 1999. Then came Friendster, MySpace, Facebook, and mobile social media. I've used Patreon, Medium, Substack, WordPress, Slack, Discord, and more. X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. I've got them all locked in. And I'm syndicated to over 20 podcast platforms. You guys have seen that newsletter before about being a top 1% podcaster, and it doesn't really matter. Here's the things, though. With all of this content that I've created over the last 25 plus years, where is my online home? With data and content all over the interwebs, is it possible to actually have a central home? Where are my people? The fractured nature of many walled gardens makes it impossible to centralize them all. How can I provide value or help to those that I meet? I meet hundreds of people every single month, and every single person is using different platforms for engagement and extra value. Is my desire to help greater than the friction created by 30 plus non-integratable content platforms? That is the topic of today's talk. Absolutely, I'm willing to do the hard work and overcome this friction, and frankly, it's taken me this entire year. A solution has been found. And for those of you guys who don't want to listen to the next 15 minutes,
wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
I finally created a Discord. So, link below, join. On my love for experiments. I love experiments, and you guys know this. For a long time, I've been doing experiments all over the place, from 30-day to 90-day to 1 year plus experiments. Some of you guys remember my 1 year experiment in AI. I'm willing to learn, and I love learning. All of my social experiments have created islands of engagement on those specific platforms. I'd like to do a new one. I'd like to bring people from all walks of life together. People who love languages, art, software, product development, investing, startups, leadership, marketing, and more. There's certainly even more categories of people than that, and certainly I've met all sorts of flavors of people in my 40 plus years of life on this planet. But the opportunities to smash these atoms together is distinctly unique. You see, what can emerge from smashing all of these atoms? That's the question. I have some very intelligent people within my network. I'd love to get them together. How can I facilitate this? How can I create a safe place for emergence and emergent discovery? What value could be created by putting all these people together? Could lives be impacted and changed? And can great products and services emerge from such a community? Finally, how can I help many while encouraging growth and personal success for you? That's been my journey this year as I've been noodling on this experiment. So on creating communities around the world. Since 2004, I've created digital communities around the world. Here's the numbers. X, I have 83,000, 12,000, a 2,000, and a 2,000 person follower account. An epic fail in terms of reach and shadow banning, but deep in terms of paid subscribers. I have over 1,900 of those that I've been helping over the last 4 years. And frankly, it's become unsustainable. I DM more in Twitter than I'd like. When it comes to YouTube, I have a 435,000 subscriber YouTube account, mostly just cars, a 62,000 subscriber account, that's Bitcoin mining, a 30,000 subscriber account, that's for experiments, a 23,000 YouTube channel, that's just personal, a 2,000 follower account that's racing, and another 2,000 follower account that's deeply personal. I bet you didn't know that I had so many different channels with so much different content on it. I create content every single day just because you don't see it on the one YouTube that you're subscribed to and probably unsubscribed to. Thanks to YouTube, you wouldn't know. When it comes to podcasting, I'm syndicating to over 20 plus platforms. Yes, I'm a top 1% podcast at 40,000 listens per month, but it's not really monetized, and no, it doesn't really matter. When it comes to Instagram, I have 16,000 at 2.5 and a 2.5, but I pretty much quit, and some of you guys know from my X posts that I've quit using Instagram because I just don't see any value in it. I only have one account, that's the 16,000 follower account, and that's because I've invested a lot of money into this investment, and I want to see it thrive and succeed. When it comes to TikTok, I have a 120,000 person account, a 12,000, an 8,000, and a 1,000. TikTok has been an interesting experiment. While there's no monetization, we are the #1 carding channel on there. You can find us. When it comes to my personal newsletter, something that I'm ridiculously proud of and very it's close to my heart because it's taken me decades to build this. I have 73,000 person newsletter, 92,000 person newsletter, and a 14,000 person newsletter. Clearly, I serve multiple user personas, and I send out newsletters every week. Once again, just because you don't get my newsletter every week is probably because you're not subscribed to the multiplicity of outbound systems that I use. When it comes to LinkedIn, I have over 8,000 followers, but LinkedIn will be dead in the next couple years, so now's the time for you to start thinking about how to remove yourself from that and get ahead of the curve. I can include others like Pinterest, Facebook, Tactical for Startups, and Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, and Slack, but those metrics are different. When it comes to my overall numbers of my social media apparatus and all of the multiple accounts that I have all over the place, I'm doing across all of these platforms about 15 to 20 million views per month. Let that sink in. And over 120 to 180, almost 200 million impressions per month, meaning they saw it, but they didn't really engage with it. So here's my struggle, is that over the last 2 decades, I've created content on all of these different disparate islands. Where can we put all of these people? It's a fractured social experience. And so because I've created content on all these various topics, and I've created these content around multiple areas of competence, while this might seem unruly, I actually enjoy talking about what I'm learning and how I'm using what I'm learning. And so to categorize the 5 core areas in which I discuss, and you guys well know, Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, Web3 tech, decentralized finance, and AI, startups and venture capital, Agile and Scrum and product development, and finally, personal experiments, family, and of course, racing. And so because I have these 5 areas of competence, I have what expands from this is multiple accounts to discuss each facet of this competence and these skills that I've grown over the 2+ decades. This is why I have so many different channels on content platforms. 25 years ago, I began putting my content online with videos. It's not like I'm going to stop right now. So how can I serve such a disparate and fundamentally different marketplaces? It's a fractured value focus. Well, over the last 8 months, I have finally figured out that I serve 3 distinct user personas. Number 1, corporate and business coaching, consulting, and certified Scrum training. This is deeply transactional and light relational, right? They're there for a purpose. Number 2, entrepreneurs, operators, and business builders. This is a time box transactional moment, and it's a tactical relationship with those individuals and those operators and entrepreneurs because we want to help them succeed. And it's time box because there's burn. And the third user persona that I serve are investors, venture capitalists, private equity, family offices, high net worth individuals, and obviously startup investing. This is actually a long cycle time with a strategic relational model attached to it. And so don't miss the struggle. Is that over the last 20 years, I have served 3 distinct user personas. One that is transactional, one that is tactical and time boxed, and one that is strategic and relational. As you can clearly see, while all of these 3 user personas can bleed to higher and lower ranges of relationships, you'll notice that all 3 of these user personas are very distinct. There isn't much industry glue that would keep all 3 of these personas in one community. Right? If you're looking for training, you're not going to be hanging out with venture capitalists. If you're a startup entrepreneur, you might not really want to be discussing marketing, right? And so I have all of these different competencies that I've grown and these skills that I've grown over the 20 plus years that I've been doing work. And I love talking about them. And I've created such great communities that are islands all over the place. My struggle has been, and always has been, how to serve all 3 of these user personas well and combine them all. And that is what this experiment is all about. I aim to try this, by the way. Also, a small note. This is also why, when it comes to Agile and Scrum and project management or Kanban or Lean or industry-specific communities, there's a reason why they don't thrive, because they're transactional in nature. This can only be overcome if there is a relational value and personal value that's included in that community. I was talking with a colleague of mine. She has a community, and we were discussing this exact part, is that beyond the transaction of them coming for the training or them coming for the workshop, there's no real reason for them to be hanging out in a Discord or a Slack. It's very transactional in nature. So there has to be a value proposition beyond just the transaction. So all of that preamble to say, where can I serve all 3 of these user personas? And there's this fractured personal alignment. Well, the solution is very simple, and here's my bullet points of how I came to this idea over the last 8 months. You see, the vision of this solution is to be accessible to people and serve better. The mission is a central place to help people launch and learn, grow, and prosper. The options that I looked over and mulled over the last 8 months is whether I'm going to code it myself, a homegrown, whether it's a Substack or an X, an LMS, a learning management system, a subscription management system, Ghost, which is open source, PHP, Slack, Discord, WordPress, which I'm a big fan of, a paid or open source. You see, none of these options were perfect. All come with compromises and capabilities. But the feature sets that I think were really important for me, and I wrote these down, was voice and video, tiers and permissions, asynchronous communication, ability to drop in content, community can grow on its own, ideas can emerge, help can be given by the community for the community, and I can help too, webinars and live events, which I've been doing for years now, but just as a paid subscription, personalized help, and for money to be made. I mean, let's be honest. We're either trying to level up personally to make money, or we're here to make money. So, with all of these options, the compromises were extremely real. But there was one distinct solution that had just enough to make it work, and I'd love to see you there. Check links below. Find you in Discord. So, let's talk about the future state. I need help. I need help building this. I've never amalgamated all of these disparate communities into one, and I have no idea what it's actually going to look like. So I need help building this future state. The user personas that will benefit the most from my community Discord are the following. If you're working at a company or business that needs improvement. If you're interested in Agile, Scrum, or any other product development frameworks. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur or have a product idea. If you're in management, product development, marketing, sales, or IT. Or if you're a management consultant, coach, facilitator, or trainer. Or finally, if you're an investor or want to network with other family offices, investors, and VCs. I'm trying to work on how to make this available since there's accredited investor constraints. And of course, if you just want to hang out with a professional community of self-learners, our Discord is the place for you. So here's the call to action, the CTA. I need help. Currently, I have several things that need to be modified and transferred over from other properties as I delete and add and remove, but bring them all into this Discord. I just finished, just a couple weeks ago, my 13th Personal Product Camp cohort, which I call PPCC, since 2017. A lot of you guys don't know about this, and frankly, I've never really marketed it. It's just been a word of mouth thing that I've really enjoyed because the relationships are deep and the conversations are rich. It's a 6-week workshop on personal branding. For those of you who want to learn how to create your own digital brand, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And I'll be revamping this workshop and relaunch it later this year, maybe December or maybe the beginning of 2025. Please hit the emoji icon on the Discord thread, hashtag PPCC-14, that thread, to show me if you're interested. I'm not sure if I should continue to make this a one paid-off workshop or build it into a mastermind group that I've been running for the last almost 4 years. Number 2, a 2-day Build a Product Bootcamp. I've run this bootcamp 6 times since 2021 with private clients, and I'm currently rebuilding this workshop to include, and this is the best part, Certified Scrum Product Owner Certification.
Nice.
This will be a major benefit to any product manager, product developer, leader, or manager of products to learn how to build any product from the ground up. So, if you want to learn how to build a product from the ground up and get Scrum Alliance certification attached to it, please hit the emoji icon in the Discord thread CSPO Bootcamp to show me you're interested. I highly recommend that you've already taken a certified Scrum Master class or prior Agile and Scrum experience is greatly advised before taking this class, because I'm not going to be going over the basics. We are jumping in and we're going to spend 16 to 18 hours together learning how to build an amazing product. So I want to bring this to the public. Number 3, I have a mastermind group of over 1,900 people, almost 2,000 people, in my OG mastermind group started on Twitter about 4 years ago for business builders and investors. This is primarily a monthly topical webinar and the behind the scenes of how I build startups and invest in startups. The amount of advice, help, and coaching I've given there is incalculable. I've been spent 4 years giving amazing product startup investment advice to this OG group. And frankly, it's time to make it all accessible to a greater audience. I'm not 100% sure of how to transfer all of that content over to Discord since it's a subscription and paid group, but it must be done. I already know that I'm going to lose significant revenue for sure during this transfer, but X and is just become unusable. So please join me in Discord thread Mastermind Group to help figure out how to make this next evolution of monthly webinars and value even better. I am open to all ideas. Next up, a couple things that I really want to grow. Monthly webinars. I want to do monthly free webinars with speakers. Now, I've been doing paid monthly webinars for over 3 years with my mastermind group, and that's what they pay for. But I want to bring more free webinars and speakers to you guys. So find the hashtag Webinar Summit Discord thread if you want to be a speaker, or if you know of a good speaker, let me know. I want to bring people in that understand products, understand startups, understand investment, understand marketing, understand personal branding. I want to bring them so that you guys can benefit from them. So help me out there, join the Discord, and let me know who you know so that they can provide value to us and all of us. And finally, this one's really exciting. A yearly digital summit. I'm really keen on having an online digital summit conference with great speakers. If you know of anyone who enjoys building these types of experiences, send them my way in Discord. I need help. I really need help. I've never done it before. I want to do it. And I've been part of a lot of great online conferences with like thousands of people. We can do this. We can do this, but I need help to do it. So for those of you that are out there, let me know. And one very niche community that I have is I have an opinion community, essentially. In full transparency, I have about 30 people who pay me about $5 a month for my opinions on very contentious topics. The monthly fee serves as a perfect balance for this very niche audience. I'm ignorant on politics and social. That's mostly what it focuses on. But I'm always willing to share my thoughts, usually very data-centric, to a small audience that actually cares. I enjoy it enough that I may leave it where it is, hidden out of sight, but my ignorance isn't worth sharing to the world publicly unless you're willing to pay to hear it. So you tell me differently. This is just something that I might just keep in the shadows. Finally, we all need community. In a world that's becoming even more lonely, it's imperative we connect ourselves to real people. People who are doing, people who are seeking, people who are growing. Now, I may not be able to help you with all your specific problems or issues, but I can promise you that someone in my community and in my network can. And that is why I'm bringing this platform, this Discord, to you guys. I want to serve better, I want to have access to all, and I know that smashing our atoms together, we're going to come up with something. I know we will. Join me. I'll see you guys in Discord.